Hey YouTube, Shikun Shinobi here with a review of the Power Rangers Samurai Retrofire Zeo Megazord and Mystic Titan Megazord. This is the second wave. The Mystic Titan Megazord actually is a re-release. Was released in the second wave of Retrofires during RPM, along with the Dino Thunder Megazord and the Valvemax Megazord, I believe. But I never found those at a store, so I could never buy them. So, I have the Mystic Titan Megazord now, and the Zeo Megazord is brand new. So let's go ahead and take a look at each of them, and take a look. So, here we have the Zeo Megazord. One of the kind of more awkward Megazords, I think, mostly because it was just a change compared to what we were used to during MMPR. But I really like the way this thing looks. Mostly because I do dig the design of the Zeo Megazord. So, kind of biased towards the figure itself. But the figure itself really isn't all that bad. We have this backpack here with the wings of the Phoenix, I believe it was. And those are nice. They pop right off. So if you don't want the wings, you can just go ahead and take those off and you still have the Zeo Megazord. Obviously, his back is a little bit more bland, but I kind of dig the wings, so I'm going to go ahead and pop those back on, because wings are cool. Articulation-wise, you have these shoulder pads, which are just in there through a simple clip. Right there, there's no sort of, like, attachment or anything like that. So those just kind of dangle around and aren't really all that great. But these are all on a nice little pin and swivel system, so full range of motion, obviously hindered by the wings, but it's not that big of a deal. No joint at the elbow, which I think is ridiculous, and then no swivel at the hand at all either. Same over here. You do get a hand swivel though, because this is the sword holding hand. The sword can be held in the other hand as well, since there's a hole for it, but it doesn't want to fit in there good enough. And that one doesn't have a swivel, so it's kind of stupid to put the sword in that hand anyway. And still no elbow joint, but the swivel on the arm is still there, so you still get the full range of motion in the shoulder, just not anywhere else. The heads aren't removable or anything like that, so you can't switch them out of the Zeo 5 head. So that's a bit of a bummer, but maybe the Super Robot Chogokin can give us some head swapping gimmicks. The feet, the hips are the same style that are pretty much on all the Retrofires, with the metal pin and the ball joint swivel thingy. So full there, single joint right there at the knee, there we go, and a little foot swivel right there. That is all for this guy. That's all he does. Really bummed about the lack of elbow articulation, because if this guy had elbow articulation and a swivel right up here, and then a hand swivel over here, it would actually be probably one of the best Retrofires, but alas, we are missing joints, as always with these things, and no can do. So let's go ahead and pop him up here, give him a little spin, and discuss. I really like this one. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the Zeo Megazord, so I kind of dig the figure. Just the fact that it's missing such common joints is my biggest complaint with this line, and there's really just no excuse for it in 2012. I don't even want to give them production value either, because these things cost $14.99 at Toys R Us, and Toys R Us is like the only place that you can find them. So you really don't have a choice but to pay Toys R Us's inflated prices. And with that in mind, these figures just aren't worth $14.99, considering I think the 4-inch like normal Ranger figures are better than these. And those are only anywhere from $6.99 to $8.99, depending on where you buy them. So, on that, value-wise, I just can't recommend these, but they do look alright once you get them on display. And the Zord, like, selection process is pretty nice. Very plain back, which is a bit of a disappointment as well. But, yeah. Really not much you can do. But the fact that they picked the Zeo Megazord to make one out of these is pretty cool, considering that's a Megazord that really just doesn't really get that much recommendation. Or recognition, rather. That was the word I was looking for at first. But anyway, let's move on to the Mystic Titan Megazord. So here we have the Mystic Titan Megazord with the cool sword. It's actually a pretty thick sword. Unfortunately, it still bends. And I've got a little bit of bendy going on in his wings area too from when I had him in storage. So just kind of bear with me here. This is a figure that had a lot of potential ruined by horrible molding choices. And I mean horrible molding choices. You have the wings back here, which are actually really cool. I think you can pop these off if you pull hard enough, but I wouldn't really recommend doing that. These are on a little swivel, so you can kind of position these however you want to. And the back is very plain, obviously. So that's fine. I wouldn't want to take the wings off anyway, but outside of that, let's just get rid of the sword. You've got his arm over here is on a swivel. There's no sort of joint here at the shoulder besides the rotation. But this is on a swivel, which is more than I can say about some of them. His hand is this weird downward, like I broke my wrist formation. I know it's supposed to be like a point of a sword, sort of like that, but it's at such a downward slope that it looks really weird. But that aside, if you look at the other arm, we still don't have any sort of rotation here at the shoulder besides the swivel. His arm's bent permanently, no elbow joint, no hand swivel. There's just a swivel right there at the shoulder from where it connects in. Of course, the leg articulation is perfectly fine. Single joint at the knee, the foot swivel, and the same metal pin ball system that's on all of the figures. I don't understand why they can get like the waist down perfect on every figure, but the arm articulation just fails so miserably on every one of these. I just don't understand why they just can't be consistent with shoulder joint, elbow joint, and a hand swivel or something. Even if they just had an elbow joint and a shoulder joint. It's 2012. Do you have better figure manufacturing than this? This is the style of figures we got in the 90s. It's not the 90s. It's not even the single-digit 2000s anymore. So, with that in mind, I think they just kind of fail miserably at that. But that's a topic for a different day, I suppose. Put the sword back in there since the sword looks... he's like He-Man, maybe? Thundercats? I don't know. Let's keep him like that for now, because why not? I was really excited about this one, and then I read some reviews back when he was originally released, and then my excitement for this guy just kind of dwindled magically once I learned he lacked joints everywhere. Word to the wise, there is a Super Robot Chogokin of Magic King coming out in March. He will retail for probably about $45 or so. Naturally, you do have to either import through a Japanese online retailer or pay a little bit inflated prices due to import charges from Big Bad Toy Store. But that figure will blow this one completely out of the water. So if you're looking for a good quality figure, check out the Super Robot Chogokin come March. At least from Magic King, there's no word on a Chogokin for this guy yet. But as a $14.99 figure, I just can't recommend this one. I can sort of recommend the Zeo Megazord. He isn't that bad. But as far as the Mystic Titan Megazord is concerned, the lack of proper articulation in the arms just really kills the figure for me. When you're paying $14.99 for an action figure, you expect a level of articulation that's at least up to par to where we're at in terms of production. Not where we were in terms of production back in the 90s. So as a $14.99 figure, I just can't recommend the Mystic Titan Megazord at all. I can kind of recommend the Zeo Megazord if you're a fan of him. And I guess if you're a huge Mystic Force fan, then he's probably not a bad pickup for display. He's just really not a fun figure to play with. That being said, I don't think either of these guys are worth the $14.99. If you can get them on sale, that's great. I've never seen them on sale, besides when they do like a buy 2 Power Ranger toys, get 1 half off or something. But keep an eye out. There's a chance they might go on sale at some point in the future. I really wish I could recommend these, but just knowing the kind of figures we can get in the 4-inch line, and the Thundercats line in particular, there's just no excuse to how crappy the articulation is in these toys. There just really isn't. Bandai's capable of a lot better than this. That's proven that with the Thundercats line. So, yeah, I just can't really recommend them. You can check out ShootControlLobby.com for the latest updates on my reviews and hauls. And of course, check out RidersRangersandRebels.com, bringing you the latest Toku news in the craziest way possible. So take care and have a great one. Bye.